Okay, a lot of us have goals for our children to have better self-regulation. And we all know now that in order for our children to have self-regulation, we have to have it too. So you hear me talk a lot in the goals about strengthening the 5 steps of self-regulation. So I'm going to attempt here to explain to you, these are things that are in our safe place at school, what this all means. So we're going to start with number 1, which is I am upset. That means you notice what is happening in your body. So for example, if I'm really angry, things start to churn, I can feel, or maybe I'm scared and I have those butterflies in my stomach. That's just noticing, okay, I'm getting angry, I'm starting to fight, I'm starting to run away, I'm starting to freeze. So when I recognize that upset, I look and see that I need to go to a safe place. Now that can be a physical location like we have at school, or it can just be right where you are. So once you've noticed that, well, what I tell the kids, it's like when anger gets a hold of you, it's like you're gone and anger is in control. So we say, anger got a hold of you. What can you do? Forget who you are or be a star. I choose to be a star. So what being a star means is that you stop or smile, take a deep breath, and when you breathe in, take a deep breath, it's important. Not that it's big, but it's deep. It goes all the way to your belly. So we pretend this is our flower, and we smell it. And notice how slowly I breathe in, and my belly is actually filling with air. And then we blow it out like a candle. And again, it's a very slow breath, and that will help get you out of this state and back to yourself. Now, I will warn you that if your child is tantruming and you tell them to breathe, they're probably going to chuck something at you. So it's really important to remember that that first step starts with us. So when your child or my child is tantruming, I stop myself and breathe. I usually don't say anything to them at first until I make sure I'm in a calm state. And so one of the things I do, a lot of the children can take themselves to our safe place. You know, they know they're sad and they do that themselves. But a child who's really out of control, I don't send them to the safe place. If they're at that point, I go with them and I stay with them. It's kind of what I call a time in, because they really, really need a lot of help. And at that point, when I take them, I'm not saying anything to them. I'm just focusing on my breathing, because it's really hard for me when I'm with a child who is really feeling out of control. So that's really, really important to remember. So that leads us to step 2, is our breath. And we already talked about the star, and I'm just going to show you quick some of the basic 4 that we have learned and practiced at preschool. So the balloon. And then we have the drain. I think of this one when I'm really mad and I feel like hitting somebody or throwing something. We kind of crunch up our shoulders and we breathe in. And then we drain those yucky feelings out. And the last one is our pretzel, which is kind of hard to do. You cross your feet or at the ankles. I tell them, put your hands out, thumbs down, cross, grab, pull in, tongue on the roof of your mouth, and just deep breathe. This is one I use when I have a hard time sleeping at night. The thoughts are twirling around. So that's step 2. Once you take a few of those breaths, hopefully you can get to step 3. And that's when you articulate and you tell how you feel. Now, a lot of times we get our thoughts and our feelings mixed up. So a child might say, he's mean, when he means the feeling is, I'm mad, I'm mad at what he did. So it's really important to learn the difference between, am I angry at somebody, or am I frustrated with myself or my situation? Like maybe being stuck at home when I want to be with my family. Scared. Am I scared because something is really happening right now? Or am I anxious? I'm worried about something that might happen or might not happen. Am I sad? Or am I just disappointed? The whole goal here is to come back to a state of calm where you can find that happy and move on to the next step, which is step number 4. Now, step number 4, a lot of times we're not ready right away to deal with things. I'm still pretty mad at you, and I'm having a really hard time. So I need some time to myself. And that might be where you would choose and I love you rituals. Some people want to be around other people and some kids don't. They just want, let me look at a book, let me draw. We had our family and friends board, so they might go look at pictures of their family at school. It's different for each person. What is going to get you to the point where you can come back and actually do step number 5, which is solve the real problem. Not all the symptoms, but just the real problem. And that involves talking, brainstorming, maybe negotiating, compromising, all of those kinds of things which children are not good at. And frankly, many of us adults are not that good at it either. So that's something that takes some practice. And children definitely need our guidance to go through that process. Now, here's the trick of the trade. When the kids are done and we've gotten to step 5, I always ask them to give each other a high five or a fist bump, or, now with social distancing, I guess it'll be a wave. And if they can't do that, then I know we really don't have resolution. What happens then, as soon as I turn my back, they're going to do something to get revenge. And so it's really important that we get to that point of resolution and reconnection. And usually if they can do that high five, they go off and they play together, and the situation is done. Forgiveness is there, and we can move on. So I hope that makes sense. I'm here to support and guide as we continue to try to strengthen the 5 steps of self-regulation in our children and in ourselves. See you later.